The Get Rich Slow Club podcast is a collaboration between Tash from Tash and Ana from Perla. The Get Rich Slow Club acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land we record on. From coast to coast, across land, waters, and communities, we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Any advice is general and does not consider your financial situation, needs, or objectives, so consider whether it's appropriate for you.
Welcome to today's Investing Short, where we explain one concept quickly and clearly to demystify the world of investing. Today, I think is one of the most popular ones. We're going to talk about ETFs, or exchange traded funds.
So we love talking about ETFs. They're essentially a bundle of shares. So ETFs are a popular way to get started in investing. They provide instant diversification to spread out any risk across multiple companies. They can either be active or passive and are bought through a broker. So one thing that's worth noting is that an ETF is an exchange traded fund. It's a fund that's traded on the exchange. So in Australia, we usually invest in the Australian Stock Exchange. And this bundle of shares is essentially holding a bunch of different shares. So you're holding a bunch of different companies in one specific product.
It's kind of like a favorites chocolate box. So instead of, you might go to the shops and you're like, oh gosh, I don't know which chocolate to pick. There's so many. I'm very overwhelmed. I don't know what to pick. So then you decide to pick a pre-selected mix chosen by an expert at the company. So you might pick something like favorites or roses, where there's a big selection in the box. That removes, I like to think about it if you're going to a family gathering. It removes the risk that you're going to pick something wrong that someone hates. It removes the risk or the pressure of having to choose. It saves you time because you don't have to research and ask everyone what they like. You can just get hopefully a box that everyone will like something in there. But yeah, so ETFs are like the favorites box. They bundle the shares together for you.
So most ETFs are passive index tracking ETFs, which means they track an index such as the ASX 200 or the S&P 500. There are active ETFs and they're managed by a fund manager trying to actively outperform the index, and usually they have higher fees.
However, over the long term, passive investment funds have historically performed better. More than 80% of Australian fund managers underperformed the index over 15 years. In the US, though, 92% of them delivered lower returns than the S&P 500 index.
So for first-time investors, ETFs are a great option because they are passive, they're easy to manage, and they're quite diverse as well. So it's a great way to start investing without having to pick individual shares.
Some of the most popular ones I hear about are VAS, the Vanguard Australian Shares ETF. There's VGS, which is the Vanguard International Shares ETF. VDHG is the Vanguard Diversified High Growth ETF, which is fun. There's BetaShares has some too. There's DHHF. So they're just like some of the popular ones if you want to do your research, have a look into those.
So Tash just mentioned a bunch of different ETFs, and she mentioned a couple ETF providers. So that means that there are companies who distribute these ETFs who provide you with access to them as well. So she mentioned Vanguard, there's BetaShare, there's iShare, there's a whole bunch of different companies out there that provide different types of ETFs.
Yeah, they're like the creators of the ETFs, and then you go and buy them through a broker, which we'll have to cover on our next episode. But yeah, I don't know, what are we going to call them? Fund managers? Is that what they're really called? But yeah, they're the creators of the ETFs.
Thanks so much for joining us. If you found this episode helpful, please rate us 5 stars, write a review, or share with a friend. If you're new to investing, make sure to listen to our first 10 episodes. Follow us at Get Rich Slow Club or Tash at Tash Invest or me at Ana Cristina.
This show was brought to you by Natasha Etchman, who is an authorized representative 1299881 of Guideway Financial Services, AFSL 420367, and Perla, who is an authorized representative 1281540 of Sanlam Private Wealth, AFSL 337927. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to investing. So make sure you check out our financial services guides and read the product disclosure statement and target market determination for any investments you're considering. See our show notes for more info.